Hello everyone, welcome back to World of Tanks with Ngiri. My last video got a bit of slack for uploading pure, unadulterated gameplay, so today you get to hear me talk through this battle on the Paris map in the KV2. Now, I know some of you may have not seen the KV2 before, but you'll get acquainted very quickly, trust me. It's Tier 6, Tier 7 matchmaking. Tier 6, 7, and 8 matchmaking. There's 3 Tier 8s, 5 Tier 7s, and 6 Tier 6s on each team. And I wasn't too sure if the KV2 had been affected or not. You see, I played almost all summer, almost all fall. I only played this past winter, and shortly before I gave the game a break, Wargaming had been working on some rebalancing adjustments in the sandbox server. Specifically, they're looking at high explosive rounds. And they're considering rebalancing high explosive rounds so that they no longer have penetration. Instead, they will always deal damage and always around the same amount. What that would have done is for guns with small calibers, they would have allowed you to always be able to deal splash damage on the outside of a tank. But for guns like the KV2 with large calibers, it would have limited the amount of damage you can do. This machine has a 152mm howitzer. It deals 900 average damage if it penetrates its high explosive rounds. In the high explosive rounds, the penetration isn't great, but it's not bad either. Which means this tank is able to do things like that. $917 damage to the side of a top tier heavy, and the 122 TM finishes him off with an ammo rack because I damaged his ammunition supply. And I'm gonna do it again. 184 to the back of the AMX M445. When these rounds penetrate, they do a lot of damage. IS on my team even had to block me from finishing off the kill because he wanted it for himself. Now, not even 3 minutes into the battle, and I've got 1800 damage. That tank spontaneously combusts in front of me in order to avoid receiving another dose of 152mm howitzer. And the team is turning this into a bit of a raffle stomp. We're only winning 6-5, but we have the pressure down, and we're pushing all the way through towards their cap. Tier tank destroyer with 755 health. Not anymore. And at this point, even though the scores are still 7-5, we're basically cleaning up because we have so much momentum on this push. I have all of my health left. Both of my tier 8 heavy and my tier 7 heavy are both very healthy as well. We have 3 tank destroyers sitting in the field that are keeping anyone over there from making any moves. What you'll see here is the drawback to the KV2's 152mm howitzer, which is the accuracy. It's absolutely atrocious. I think it's 0.52 or 0.56. I think it's 0.56 accuracy. It's about as much as an artillery piece. This gun does not have good accuracy, and it has an atrocious aiming time. But that doesn't matter, because you're not supposed to wait for the aiming time on the KV2. You're supposed to just point the gun in the general direction of your target and just let the shell fly. Now at this point, I'm stuck on the other side of the map from the M4 EC8, last surviving tank on the enemy team, so I'm not gonna get a piece of him, but that doesn't matter. 2 kills, 29-16 damage in just under 5 minutes on the Paris map in the KV2. As you can see from the post-battle results screen, that's a high caliber for causing the most damage in the battle on both teams. A Mastery Ace Tanker for causing more damage than 90% of players in the past week in the KV2. With only 4 shots in a tier 8 battle. Thankfully, Wargaming did not actually put the changes to high explosive into effect. So as you can see, the KV2's high explosive rounds still have very decent penetration. Just looked up the stats on the gun, by the way. 0.43 accuracy, a 3.26 second aim time. Which means if you wanted to aim the shot in, you would have to sit in front of your opponents for over 3 seconds in order to get a 0.43% or 0.43 accuracy shot. That's not gonna happen. KV2 is now rolling out on a tier 6 and tier 5 match. We'll see something very different here, in that the tanks that I was shooting at in the last battle mostly had armor that could avoid taking full damage from KV2. Didn't really matter in the last battle because I managed to penetrate them all. But in this battle, very few of the tanks have any armor that can deal and prevent the KV2 from either penetrating, or if it doesn't penetrate, just doing so much splash damage that it doesn't matter. M4A1 up on the hill also has a high explosive gun. He's saying, "Come derp with me." Those of you who don't know, derping is lobbing high explosive shells into enemy tanks and dealing full damage. So we're gonna go and join him. M4A1 has a, I believe it's a 105mm howitzer. It's a very nice derp gun at tier 5. You see me asking in chat if the high explosive rounds had actually been nerfed, if Wargaming had gone through with the tests they were making on the sandbox server. We know from the last battle they didn't, but I was still not sure at this point. So I'm a bit worried that this might be the first game I play in the KV2 where it is no longer the KV2. It's no longer the glorious one-shotting Soviet machine that we all know and love it to be. Pulling forward to support the M4A1. Tier 5 Japanese medium tank over there. Line is up and shot. 330 HP gone. Guess not. To be sure, those changes have not made it into effect. But now I've reloaded. Let's do it again. Tier 5 American Premium Heavy Tank. You can see there, that has armor that will bounce a KV2's high explosive round. But what I just did to him was splash damage. A non-penetrating hit for about 150 damage. This battle is not going as well as the last one is. You can see we've got to push very much going forward towards their cap circle, but it's spread out. and the enemy team has heavily won the northern flank, and are actually at our cap circle. So seeing that, I know, yes, I'm getting shot at by a Jackson, but I have no choice. I have to rush forward and get the pressure on. Jackson's in front of me. Seemed to believe that he could sit there and wait for me to reload. But he's surprised that the reload isn't as long as he thought it was. Now, with all of us up here and the northern flank completely gone, I tell everyone to get in the cap. Because unless we cap out, there isn't really much choice for us to win. There's only a couple tanks heading back. They're probably not going to survive an encounter with all of the enemy tanks at their base. 171 again on the outside of the KV-1. Non-penetrating hit there. But I'm sitting here in the cap, and we've got, thankfully, everyone else in here as well. I'm just trying to position myself to hopefully block the line of fire for that KV-1 so that he can't see into it. 257 splash damage, also on the outside of the KV-1. It's a non-penetrating hit. Now Chaffee comes in. He was looking to drive around and interrupt the cap, but he gets tracked and caught sideways on and killed before I even have the chance to reload. Unfortunately, our friend in the M4A1 gets taken out by the artillery just before the battle ends. Oh, not by the artillery, by the light tank. But still, not a bad result for the KV-2. It's not just shy of 3,000 damage, and it's not a Mastery Ace Tanker badge, but it's still the KV-2 nonetheless. We're still top damage in the battle, with 3 kills on the Empire's border map. So, that's all for today. I hope you all enjoyed. It was a very fun couple of games for me. And you will be seeing more of these World of Tanks games on the channel. So let me know in the comments how you think they are going and if you like them, what you don't like about them, if you absolutely hate them, if you'd prefer that I burned my microphone. Let me know what all you think. Until next time, that's all for today.